What's up, my little wooty woo? All right, so I'm going to tell you how people's psychic and spiritual energies can enter into your body. All right, so as a human being, you have to understand yourself. We have several components to us. So, being a spiritual and physical being, you are also electric. You are magnetic, you are psychic, and also etheric. All right, so we are also like a power battery. When we move it around, we dissipate a lot of energy. We're also charging. And within our physical bodies, there are a bunch of power grids. So to maintain us as a whole system, there are the power grids. And that's where the energies are distributed through the body. And there are also points through which external influences of energy can enter in us. So wherever we go, we tend to leave traces of energy, whether it's pieces of our hair, saliva, even our fingerprints. And we can also pick up energies depending on what we interact with. Okay, you can pick up negative energy, positive energy, or also emitted energies wherever we go. Understanding how the entire system of energies operate can help you to protect yourself from psychic and spiritual influences. Energy, whether psychic or spiritual, can enter into our body through various parts. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the difference between psychic and spiritual attacks. All right, so boom, in a spiritual attack, it directly affects your spirit and it prevents your spiritual growth and development. A psychic attack is more direct and intuitive. It affects your psyche and your psychology. Okay, so a psychic attack can be something as simple as someone thinking about you and its energy is being directed to you by sight or by thought. That energy can reach you and it can start making you feel uncomfortable. Or you can start feeling anxious, you can start feeling fear, but you can't explain why. So it's more mental and intuition based. But one thing about a psychic attack, it can be used as an entry point for a spiritual attack. Okay, so let me give you an example. So if somebody attacks your physical body, or say you experience a disease, since those things tend to weaken the physical body, then your spiritual well-being will also start to suffer. So to defend yourself from a psychic attack or a spiritual attack, you need to have a strong will. And you need to understand the entry points of which these things can happen. So now I'm just going to tell you entry points and the effects of them. The first energy point is the pineal gland. So this will be an entry point for a psychic attack. So if a physical energy is directed at you or your aura, so if a psychic energy is directed at you or at your aura, you are more likely to feel discomfort. That is your intuition. It's picking it up. And depending on your physical or spiritual makeup, some people's thoughts are very powerful. Whether they think about you in a positive way or a negative way, it can affect you. If you're a sensitive person, you'll start to feel uncomfortable. You'll start to feel depression, different types of feelings. Okay, so sometimes, let's just give an example. Sometimes, even by liking someone or thinking about them, you might find that their behavior towards you tends to change. Either they're more rejectful of you or they're more welcoming of you. It's because they're able to pick up that energy and you are directing that into their sight or into their aura. But also, energy that is directed to your sight can cause an imbalance. It can cause a spiritual imbalance. And that it can create confusion in your life. It can take away your clarity and your awareness. So it is important to understand your spiritual makeup. We do have different spiritual gifts. So if you find, for example, that you have a sharp tongue, then when you curse people, say negative words about something, then it tends to, spoil something for them or happens in their life, then you should be careful. Careful how you speak to others, careful what you say about others. Also, if you think negative things about other people, then they end up doing these things, it can mean that you are transferring negative energy. Those energies could be influencing this person's life in a negative way. If you see these patterns in your life, please stop. So it could be a sign that your psychic energy is affecting others. And yes, in a negative way. All right, I'm going to tell you entry point number 2, the eyes. Always guard your eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. Let's break it down. When you block eye contact with somebody, some people are able to transfer negative energies through that way. That's if you lock eyes with them and have prolonged eye contact with them. Another way is by looking at traumatic things, watching negative things. You can take in energies through these things. So if you are a sensitive person, avoid watching these negative things and avoid prolonged eye contact with people, especially people that you don't know very well. Sometimes you can look into people's eyes and see the type of character, you get what I'm saying? But you gotta be careful. You have to understand the techniques of blocking yourself from external energies being directed at you. So sometimes you could put on imaginary filters on your eyes. Sometimes you could just put on spectacle glasses, shades. These are things that help minimize the energy transfer. So number 3, the heart. So the heart mainly deals with 2 strong components, which is love and hatred. So if you truly want to love people, you have to love them with the heart, not with the mind, because the mind always changes. Say if you make your mind up that you're going to like this person, you're not going to be able to sustain that. But if you let your heart take in the message, you're going to love this person, then it will be very sustainable for you to like this person. But the heart is also a gateway for negative energies. So if you expose yourself to toxic people or negative energy, or even if you're wounded by a person, these things tend to store energy in the heart. So you tend to develop things like resentment, fear, hatred. So if you don't take time to heal yourself from these things, they can stagnate you spiritually. Yes, for the good part of your life, a good chunk. And here's another example. Sometimes people's envy, resentment, hatred toward us, we can feel it with the heart. Like, oh, I know this person don't like me. You know that because you felt it. The heart itself has intelligence. Sometimes this is why you will get into certain environments and your heart starts beating real fast. It's because your mind has sensed some sort of danger. Sometimes this will often happen in combination with the psyche, because the psyche is good at picking intuition. The heart is also good at picking intuition. The heart tends to work hand in hand with the navel, which is the fourth energy point. So if you don't know, the navel is the region around the belly button. So whenever you're feeling anxiety, you will feel your heartbeat beating, and you will also feel discomfort in the navel area. The navel area is mostly associated with balance. If you encounter anything that challenges the sense of who you are, either as a person, physically, spiritually, or emotionally, you'll feel anxiety in the navel area. Just pay attention when this stuff happens. So this is why when some people assert some form of authority over us, whenever you see them, you feel some sort of anxiety, maybe even loss of self-confidence. So for example, some people who are controlling, aka the narcissists, the toxic people, they tend to challenge your sense of being. They use negative words, they use words, demeaning statements, or even violence as a way of asserting authority. This fear affects the navel. Once they take control of this energy point, they are able to control you, even manipulate you without you even noticing. This is why you see some people in a toxic relationship and you can't get them out. It's because they have lost a sense of who they are. You encounter anybody that is manipulative, as soon as you pick up on these signs, it's better for you to get away. It's because as soon as they manage to enter into your world, these manipulative tactics can become successful, and you won't even recognize who you are, and you won't have a sense of direction in your life. Entry point number 5, the palm of the hand, right here. So this is going to go hand in hand with handshakes. That's what we use. We shake hands with that thing. Of course, we do other things with it too. When we shake hands with people, this is a form of energy exchange. So even just by touching stuff, you can pick up energies. So by shaking hands with people, you are opening yourself up to different energies. Sometimes it's only one person you may want to exchange energies with. These people might be around several other people, so you can't really avoid touching these other people. A lot of times you don't know who they are or what energies they carry. You must be careful and lock your energies to yourself. Don't shake hands with people. Stop doing it. If you do, go with intention of only greeting and shut off your mind. Shut off your senses, shut off your thoughts. So when you're loose and submissive while greeting, that's how the energy transfer happens. When we pick up energies from different people, that stuff gets into us. Once it's inside your body, your mind will tend to interpret it into an emotion, either a negative emotion, could be a positive one, but eventually your mind tends to come up with a story to match that energy. If that person have negative energy, negative intention, for example, hatred, envy, even lust, the mind will tend to interpret the energy and create a story that is related to this energy. That's how we interpret energies that are directed at us. The mind just speaks from signals. Then it will try to make the most logic story based off the energy. Okay, entry point number 6, the groin area. This is the sacral region. This deals with sexual energy. Sexual energies are one of the most powerful energies to drive us. Anything that can cause imbalance in our sexual energy, of course, is going to bring intrusive thoughts. And sometimes when this energy is stirred up, we tend to forget ourselves a lot. Then we tend to do stupid things. It's very important to protect yourself from things that can deserve your sexual urges. That's why I say guard your eyes, so don't be watching porn and in your imagination. A way to help protect this, keep your legs locked. Open legs can open doors for arousal. The portal for transfer of sexual energies even while you sleep. Sleep with your legs locked, sleep with your palms locked. Men and women, legs, your hands, and your mind are gateways, which arousal can happen in the night. You could possibly end up having sexual dreams. More energy points, just like the soles of the feet. Don't walk on strange things on the road. Very common for people to put black magic on stuff in the middle of the road. And you walk over them and you tend to pick up the vibration from whatever it is you walked on. You succumb to some form of illness or mental confusion. I hope this video helps. I'm going to come back with a video showing you how to protect yourself too. Bye.